If you think a good morning message is just a gesture of courtesy, let me reveal something to you. You're just one text away from being completely forgotten. Why? Because most women send messages that have the same emotional effect as a system notification. A simple, "Good morning, handsome," might sound cute, yes, but it also sounds identical to the other greetings he's already read that morning. You're literally competing with his coffee, his dog, and his endless scrolling on TikTok. And guess what? You're losing, even if you don't know it. Louise Hay used to say that our thoughts create our reality. And if we apply this idea to communication, we could say that our words create our connections. The quality of what you write to him directly influences how he perceives you. If your messages don't spark emotion, curiosity, or a desire to respond, congratulations, you've just become wallpaper on his chat. But don't worry, you still have time to change things. Today, I'm going to show you 7 good morning messages designed with intention and strategy, aimed to make you stop being ignored and start waking up his real interest. But first, if this video is valuable to you, I invite you to subscribe and activate notifications, because in a world where empty messages disappear without a trace, knowing how to say the right thing at the precise moment is real power. Get ready, because after this video, your messages will never be the same. Let's begin. 1. The mistake many make. Why do so many women fail when sending a good morning message? Imagine this. You wake up, grab your phone, and right there, you have the idea to send something cute. You think that by doing so, you're showing interest, that maybe you'll make him smile. But the uncomfortable truth is that you've just signed your sentence of being ignored. Because while you're writing, "Good morning, how did you sleep?" "No, swing," at least 5 other women are doing exactly the same thing. It's like going to a job interview with the same generic resume as everyone else, expecting to be hired just for your good energy. The big mistake is thinking that intention matters more than impact. It's not just about what you say, but about what he feels when he reads it. A common message doesn't provoke anything. It doesn't excite, intrigue, or leave a mark. It barely generates the impulse to leave you on read and move on with his day. And the worst comes after. When you notice he hasn't responded, you insist, texting, "Is everything okay? Did I upset you?" Or, "Well, we can talk later if you're busy." Congratulations, now you not only seem predictable, but also anxious. And anxiety in messages is the digital equivalent of bad breath. No one says it directly, but everyone wants to avoid it. Why does this happen? Because we've believed that insisting always brings results. That if you're persistent, sooner or later, he'll reply. Wrong. In attraction, insisting the wrong way doesn't add, it subtracts. If your first message didn't create an emotional impact, repeating it with another similar phrase won't change the situation. It won't make it magical. This brings us to a lesson that Louise Hay also taught us indirectly. Emotion is what transforms. We don't react to logic. We react to what makes us feel something. And a good morning message that's empty, without spark, without soul, is like a movie trailer with no memorable scenes. No one wants to watch the rest. A message that doesn't generate a reaction is like a stone thrown into water without making ripples. It sinks and disappears. So before sending that morning message, stop and ask yourself, does this message deserve a response, or am I just filling space? The good news is that this has a solution. You don't need to write him poems or act like you're a scriptwriter for a romantic movie. You just need to understand how emotions work and how to activate them in your favor. And that's exactly what you're going to learn in this series of messages. Because if you want him to think about you all day, you first need to understand why your previous messages didn't work. 2. Why don't your messages work? Have you ever felt like your messages are invisible? You write, reread, send with care, and all you get is silence. No emoji, no haha, no thanks, nothing. It's like you've sent your message to space, just waiting for a response from another galaxy. And the worst part is that you can't even complain, because technically he didn't reject you, he simply ignored you. But don't worry, you're not alone. Many make this mistake, thinking that sending a message is just about putting together pretty words and hoping for the best. But no, it's not like that. In reality, it's an art, and you, my friend, have been painting with broken crayons. Most of the messages sent today are predictable to the point of boredom. They all sound the same, they all follow the same script, and they lack emotion. Hi, how's your day going? I saw you like to travel. And of course, since they don't generate any emotional reaction, they end up being ignored faster than a promotional email. You're walking through life thinking that being kind, polite, and proper is enough to stand out. But here's an uncomfortable truth. Being too predictable can be just as bad as seeming insecure or desperate. No one gets excited by what they expect. No one feels butterflies for something they've already read 1,000 times. Attraction doesn't come from logic, it comes from emotion. If what you write doesn't spark curiosity, surprise, or a real smile, it becomes just another notification, one of many. Think about it for a moment. Every day, that special man receives dozens of messages. All polite, all well-written, all absolutely forgettable. So ask yourself, why would he respond to yours? What makes it different? If your strategy is just to be yourself, let me tell you something. Kindly, but clearly. That's not a strategy, it's an excuse. Imagine this. Instead of writing a, "Hi, how are you?" you send something like, "I'm going to give you 2 options. Either you tell me the most epic thing that happened to you today, or you tell me the boring version. You choose, but choose wisely." Do you notice the difference? It's not just what you say, but how you present it. One is like a tasteless cookie. The other is a spark that ignites a conversation. Louise Hay taught us that our words are seeds, and what we sow with them, we reap later. Your energy creates your reality, and that includes your conversations. So it's not about spells or manipulation. It's emotional psychology. If you want that man to think about you, stop writing like you're filling out a customer service form, and start writing like someone who wants to be remembered. Because in the end, it's not about what you said, but how you made him feel. In the next part, I'm going to teach you how to activate authentic emotions in your messages so that you stop being that woman who checks her phone every 5 minutes, waiting for a response that never comes. Now let's move on to point 3. How to activate emotions in your messages. Why are there texts that make someone respond immediately, and others that seem to fall into the void? Many people think it's a matter of luck, that you have to guess the perfect phrase. But the reality is that the messages that generate responses follow a clear emotional pattern. They make people feel something: intrigue, laughter, mystery, even a bit of challenge. No one responds to a message just because it sounds logical. People respond because something inside them was moved. And here's the problem. Many women write as if they're requesting an appointment at the bank. Everything is well written, everything is correct, but it's all boring. Hi, how are you? How's your day going? I saw you like to travel. Congratulations. You just wrote the equivalent of a soulless message. Bread without butter, tea without sugar. If you want a real response, provoke an emotion, any emotion. Louise said we can't control what others do, but we can control how we act. And in this case, your action is to write something that leaves a mark, something that can't be ignored. The human brain hates emptiness. If you give it an incomplete story, it will want to know the rest. For example, you won't believe what happened to me today, but I'm not sure if I should tell you. Boom, curiosity activated. He wants to know what happened. It's irresistible. Humor is also a great emotional tool. It makes the other person lower their guard and feel more comfortable with you. Try something like, I have to tell you something very important, but first tell me, pizza with pineapple or without? This could change everything. Another powerful emotional trigger is challenge. We all like to be right, to prove we know something. Try something like, I'm going to guess something about you with just 3 questions, and I'm sure I'll get it right. That activates his competitive side in a fun way. He'll want to prove to you that he's not as predictable as you think. The common mistake is thinking that activating emotions means being intense or writing endless paragraphs. Not at all. This is like using perfume. The right amount attracts, while excess overwhelms. A well-measured message can be more powerful than 1,000 words. So the next time you're about to write him, ask yourself, does this generate an emotion? Or is it just another message that will get lost in oblivion? Now let's get to what you've been waiting for. The first of the 7 messages you can use to make him think about you all day. Message 1. The unexpected spark. Don't start the day with a generic good morning. Be different. Try something like, I woke up and I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of was how handsome you look, even in my imagination. It's not cheesy, it's not forced, it's light, unexpected, and it creates a concrete image. You transported him, made him smile, took him out of autopilot mode. While other women send texts copied from Pinterest, you're playing with his mind. And that's what will make him remember you all day long. Because, as Louise Hay used to say, every thought is an affirmation, and every affirmation you share with intention has the power to transform a connection. Don't underestimate the power of the first words of the day. And please avoid phrases like, "Good morning, my prince," unless you want to be archived along with the greetings he never reads again. Message 1. The unexpected spark. Don't start the day with a generic good morning. Be different. Try something like, I woke up and I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of was how handsome you look, even in my imagination. It's not cheesy, it's not forced, it's light, unexpected, and it creates a concrete image. You transported him, made him smile, took him out of autopilot mode. While other women send texts copied from Pinterest, you're playing with his mind. And that's what will make him remember you all day long. Because, as Louise Hay used to say, every thought is an affirmation, and every affirmation you share with intention has the power to transform a connection. Don't underestimate the power of the first words of the day. And please avoid phrases like, "Good morning, my prince," unless you want to be archived along with the greetings he never reads again. Message 2. The message that creates addiction. Words can be simple, or they can be a spell. It's all about how you use them. Try this. I bet you can't guess who I dreamt about last night, but I can assure you, you'd love to know. And just like that, you've planted a seed in his mind. Now he needs to know. His brain just can't help it. Do you want to know if it was you? What happened? How was it? And that's exactly what you're looking for. It doesn't matter if you dreamt something real or not. What matters is that you just activated his curiosity, and better yet, his imagination. While other women send messages that end in a reply, you've created a conversation without him even realizing it. When you finally tell him something fun, unexpected, or even a little absurd, you'll have him hooked, because now the conversation has an emotional rhythm. You control the story. You control his interest. Louise Hay used to say that the thoughts we choose to have are like brushes with which we paint our experience. This message is a perfect stroke on that canvas you're building between the two of you. Message 3. The emotional trigger. This is subtle, sweet, and very powerful. Send him something like, "The only thing that makes me love mornings is that I have the perfect excuse to talk to you." It's not overwhelming. You're not declaring eternal love, and you're not exposing your soul. You're simply saying something that touches an emotional chord. You make him feel special. And when someone makes us feel that way, unique, important, we want to have them closer. Here's the magic. The next time he reads your message in the morning, he'll remember that phrase because the brain associates emotions with words. What you did was create an emotional anchor. Small, yes, but powerful. Louise Hay taught that self-love and value start with how we talk to ourselves and others. When you make someone else feel valued, you reflect that love within. Message 4. The subtle challenge. This is where the art of playing with the mind without pressure comes in. Write something like, "I have a feeling you're going to surprise me today, although honestly, I doubt you'll manage." Boom. You just activated a powerful psychological trigger, the challenge. No one likes having their abilities doubted, especially when it comes from someone they like. Now he has two options: ignore you, unlikely, or try to prove he can surprise you. And what do you achieve with this? You make him think about you, even if he doesn't respond right away. He'll want to prove something to you, come back to the chat the next day with a story, just to tell you, "See, I can." And when you get him to come back to you without you calling, you've stopped being just a message. You've become a challenge, and no one forgets a challenge. Message 5. The unforgettable image. This one is intimate, imaginative, and elegant. Send something like, "I bet you're probably messy in your pajamas right now, and still, you look incredible." It seems simple, but you just did something brilliant. First, you made him smile, even if he doesn't tell you. He loves the idea that you find him attractive, even without being perfect. Second, you created an intimate mental image without saying anything daring. You gave him a powerful feeling, to be desired in his most natural state, without masks, without filters. And that leaves a mark. Because while others tell him how handsome he looks in a suit or a perfect selfie, you made it clear that to you, he's irresistible, even in pajamas. Louise Hay spoke about loving ourselves just as we are. When you make someone else feel that way, that they are enough, special without adornments, you mark them, and there you are, planted in their mind. They won't want to remove you. Message 6. The hook of intrigue. This one is brief, magnetic, and almost impossible to ignore. "I have something to tell you, but I'm not sure if I should." And his mind enters detective mode. What could it be? Is it good or bad, a confession? It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that now he needs to know. It's automatic. It's human instinct. Uncertainty traps us. And even if he was busy, now he'll want to respond. And when you finally tell him something simple, like, "I just wanted to wish you a good day," he'll probably respond with a laugh and say something like, "That was it." And you know what matters here? That he responded, that he interacted. In a world where everything competes for his attention, you stole a moment with a mix of intrigue and tenderness. Mystery generates interest, and interest creates connection. Message 7. The personal signature. Every woman should have her own seal, a message that no one else sends. Something that, when he sees it, he knows it's from you. Because the men who leave a mark aren't the ones who send the most texts. They're the ones who know how to be remembered. So create a phrase that's yours, something authentic, recognizable, like, "If I don't wish you a good morning one day, report me as missing." It's fun, personal, and it makes him smile. More importantly, it makes you unforgettable. Because personal always wins over generic. Louise Hay said that love is in the details, in the everyday gestures done with awareness. This phrase is not just a greeting, it's an experience that stays with him. And there's the key. Be you, but be you with intention. And that's the real secret. It's not about sending any message. It's about creating identity with your words. Because while many women keep sending generic texts, you don't. You leave a mark. You awaken emotion. You make him think, "She's different." That's the difference between being just another one and being unforgettable. So, find that phrase that's yours. Make it part of your style. Repeat that personal signature until every time he reads it, he can't avoid thinking about you. Because that's what women who understand their communicative power do. They turn a simple message into an emotional experience. Louise Hay reminded us that every word we speak can heal, attract, and create a new reality. And in the game of attraction, it's not about saying more. It's about saying the right thing at the exact moment. A good message can open doors, awaken emotions, and leave a mark that lasts all day, or an entire story. Now I want to know which of these 7 messages you're going to try first. Leave it in the comments. I'd love to read which one caught your attention. And if you ever sent a message that had an unexpected impact, one of those that changed the course of a conversation, tell me about it too. I'm sure many women will be inspired by your experience. If this video brought you something valuable, give it a like, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next content. Because here, together, we keep learning to communicate from the heart with intention and power. And if you want to keep elevating your emotional game, I've got another video here with phrases that generate attraction in a matter of seconds. You're going to love it. Remember, the difference between being ignored or unforgettable lies in the words you choose to use. Now that you have the tools, use them with intention. See you in the next video. Beautiful.